Okay, it is 11:17 a.m. July 1st, 2024, and I need to shoot something today. I've got a big video coming up this week. I've been working on the script for the last 3-4 days, and my console computer is not booting because it's based in Windows, and Windows is a giant pile of shit. That's been my one gripe with the Genesis Black, is that it's a Windows-based machine. Windows just isn't reliable, guys. I don't know why the hell you went with this design, but it is what it is. So now I've got a Windows recovery system I think I got to do right now. It's, like I said, it's 11:18 a.m. Let's see just how long it takes to get this back and running. I just sent Neve a support ticket. It'll be about 5 p.m. there. I don't even know if anybody's at the office. That's the other problem when you're dealing with Neve. They're in England. I'm in Canada. There's a 6-hour time difference. So generally by the time I find I've got a problem, they're already going home and I have to wait till the next day. So I'm kind of fucked. So yeah, this is going to be a big test right now of Neve's support. Let's see what they can do for me. Hopefully we can get stuff fixed. Let's see if all that money I spent is going to come through where it really counts, and that is in the product support. Well, it's 11:38 now. The great news is Neve called me. They were at the office and they're like, "Hey, let's figure this out." Oh, and the bad news is, great. So yeah, it's like, okay, they're on it with the tech support. Hopefully we're going to get it figured out. This is one of the main reasons I switched over to Mac, because I don't miss seeing this screen at all. The waiting, the hoping. Maybe it'll work. Maybe it won't. We'll see. Time will tell. It's 11:45 right now, and I don't have a working computer in my console. So yeah, that's not okay. So while we're waiting here, I guess we can do a little behind the scenes. So yes, there's my Neve console. It's lovely when the computer decides to want to work. I think we just found the Achilles heel of this thing. Thanks, Bill Gates. Fuck you, asshole. Automatic repair could not repair your PC. Fuck. Isn't that great? The automatic repair can't repair your PC. Oh, you had work today? Well, too fucking bad. The computer is fucking toast. Apparently there's been some kind of catastrophic failure. I'm fucked. So no video shoot today unless I figure out how to reroute something here and try and get some fucking signal going. Hopes are not high that's actually going to happen. Yeah, I can't really say I'm all that happy about this right now at the moment. You know, I'm doing the best I can. I'm not getting angry, surprisingly, but you know, for the amount of money I spent to have it break down within 6 months of getting the console, what's going on there, guys? You know, I think we need to build a slightly more robust system or something like that, because that is just simply not okay. It's fantastic that they're going to step up. They're going to send me a new computer, but I mean, like, that's import fees I'm going to have to pay. There's taxes I'm going to have to pay on that. This is going to cost me a lot of money. There was no talk of Neve reimbursing me on that. I hope they will, but you know, that like I said, this is their machine that broke, and it's well within the warranty period. So I'm really kind of upset about that, especially because I feel like I'm letting you guys down. So yeah, I don't know what to do in the meantime. Yeah, I'm kind of fucked right now. So anyway, I'll pull this back up in a few minutes and I'll see what we can do. So I'm just trying to figure out what I can do here. Apparently I can still record audio, but I can't get it out to my computer, or I can't listen to playback either. So it's going to make it very, very difficult to shoot anything. I just don't know what to do at this point, and all I can do is wait for a new computer. I don't know what happened. I'm genuinely really upset right now. And I'm not angry, I'm just more sad than anything, because, you know, I worked so hard for so many years to get something as amazing as this, and for it to fail like this so fast after I get it. The disappointment, it's hard to find words for it, actually. I guess that's the best way I can put it. I guess the other question that needs to be asked here is, hey, Neve, how long are you going to be supporting this thing for? How long are backup computers going to be available for the Genesis Black? Because if it's going down now, what happens, 10, 20 years down the road from now and something goes wrong? Are we going to be able to get parts? Are we going to be able to put an operating system on this thing? Is that going to be able to be replaced? Or should we start buying replacement computers now and just stashing those and keep our fingers crossed, hopefully nothing else is going to go wrong? I think that's a question you guys need to answer, and make that public, immediately. All right, I'm starting to get things kind of pieced back together. I've got audio going here, my camera audio. At least I'm going to be able to use my main overhead mic, my old trusty Octava mic. That's, just done pretty much every single video. Got my teleprompter over there. I've got to use the Antelope now as my volume control. I'm used to reaching to the console, but you can see that's not doing much. So at least the Antelope stepped up and I'm able to get audio out of the computer again. Once again, this whole part of the console's dead. But many props go to Antelope Audio for stepping up when the Neve failed. I've got audio coming out of the Antelope, so I think I'll be able to shoot something. I'm going to switch over to the other camera here in a minute here, and hopefully we get the whole audio system up and running. But it's 3:52 in the afternoon, and the truth of the matter is, after dealing with all this, I just don't feel like shooting anything. I'm in no mood to do a quote-unquote proper video. This has just completely ruined my day. Like I said, I'm just beyond frustrated at this point. Tomorrow's going to be July 2nd. It'll be Tuesday. They're going to ship it out. I don't know how many days it's going to take for the computer to get here and how long the install process is going to be. This should have never happened. The fact that it did to such an expensive piece of gear and so soon after the purchase date, that's just inexcusable. There's simply no good explanation for this.
Run for your lives! It's the first annual Spectre Digital SummerSlam Super Sale! This 4th of July, we are gonna revolutionize the world of pro audio plugins. Get your hands on the ultimate virtual rhythm section, Element Bass Amp, Singularity Virtual Bass, and Extinction Level Event 2.0 drums. This package is so powerful, so explosive, it'll rock your world all summer long. But wait, the craziness doesn't stop there. The SummerSlam Super Sale includes my absolute favorite beginner amp sim, the Bogren Amp Knob. Just turn it up, it works. No, really, that's all you gotta do. We've also stuffed this bundle with Metal Essentials Volume 1 and Classic Metal, custom mini group packs for Extinction Level Event. But the fireworks continue. You also get Scott Elliott's guitar tone mastering, Alex Nasla's mixing and mastering a full metal album, and all of my courses too. Total heavy guitar, producing prog metal, mixing symphonic folk metal, mixing Metal Reaper with free plugins. Holy crap, Glenn, how do you do it? We jammed so much into this bundle, I can't even list everything included without running out of time. Do yourself a favor, celebrate freedom this summer like any self-respecting audio engineer would from the comfort of an air-conditioned studio. The SummerSlam Super Sale is here, but it's only gonna last till Sunday night. Then, like a firework lighting up the night sky, it is gone. Get it now because it's only $177. Links in the description below. Click it now. All right, it's day 2 and I am doing so much better. I woke up with an email from Neve. They said, hey, you know what? We've got a computer ready to go. We've already configured it to all the readings on your console, so it should be no problem at all to drop it in. They say it's a pretty straightforward operation. I'm really looking forward to that. I'm gonna do a follow-up video about installing the computer and replacing it. So that's freaking cool. I gotta say, wow, congrats to Neve on stepping up and taking care of their customers. That's really great support. So good on them for following up there. Is it still worth it to get a full-size recording console in 2024? A few weeks back, I did a video shooting out the best mixes I could do on Reaper versus what I could do just like having the Neve for a few weeks. And I got some pretty interesting comments. A lot of people were saying they couldn't tell the difference. A lot of people said, oh, well, I thought your mixes before sounded really good, which is interesting because most of the comments before I got the Neve used to say, your mixes suck, man. Everything you do sucks. You suck. Just stop making YouTube videos altogether, Glenn. So it's interesting how that perspective changes once the system the person is working with gets put up against something much more expensive. Human nature never ceases to amaze me. But so many of you guys have been asking, Glenn, where the hell's the reveal? I want to hear Neve versus Reaper. I want to be able to hear the difference. Okay, you guys asked for it. Here we go. Here's my best Reaper mixes versus the Neve with the labels intact. So let's run clip 1. We did this at the Lewitt studio in Vienna, and this was the band Young Nails. Check this out. This is great. This is from a guy who I can't, Nat X7055. Thanks for making your name so easy to pronounce, by the way. I appreciate that. But this is great. As Glenn has said multiple times, there's no problem with purchasing the expensive stuff. The problem is by telling people that they need to purchase them. Spot on. I mean, the price of admission to recording is so very low these days, and I love bargain gear. Believe me, I'm not going to stop recommending that stuff anytime soon. I'm going to be taking a look at some very affordable stuff from PreSonus in the very near future. Like, don't get me wrong, I love the cheap stuff, but I love the expensive stuff too. And what you're seeing here is, a buildup of gear over the last, 20, 25 years, something like that. So, it's not just you absolutely have to have this stuff. No, this is what is it? Dave over at Mixbus TV. He had a great point. He said, sometimes the last 5% is worth it. And it's like, if this is going to get me 5% better than I was getting with Reaper, especially when I'm doing this stuff for a living, okay, it probably is worth the investment. But that's the thing. You got to remember, are you a hobby guy? Are you trying to make a living doing this? You've got to know your goals. And for me, working in the public and always getting criticized, oh, your mixes sound terrible, I'm going to do anything I can to squeeze out every last little bit of performance I can out of my mixes. In that case, maybe making an investment in something like. Okay, next up, we got kind of a little bit more of a classic metal track. This is featuring Jackson Ward on drums, who's been a friend of the show for like forever. He's played on this a million times. Phenomenal drummer. If you ever need a session drummer, give Jackson a call. He's at the Strata Recording Channel. He's absolutely brilliant on the drums. And then from the SMG Discord, we've got Mr. Eric T. And Eric's a monster player as well, and he plays professionally in the band No Filter, sorry. And they're based down in Florida, and Eric's just an awesome guy. Let's roll that clip now. Interesting stuff yet again. I'm going to have a little bit more of an analysis here. I've got a whole bunch of stuff ready to go. I'm going to go over all 4 mixes and show you guys what happens with the phase cancellation. But I thought this is a good point, and this was from RC Sledge, and I thought this was kind of hilarious. And this is, since I was only able to really listen to the episode and not watch, I can tell you that both mixes in every instance sounded great to me. I'd be happy with either of them, LOL. Oh, if only my clients said that sort of thing. Like I said, it's kind of hilarious. So when I start putting the big stuff up against Neve, suddenly my mixes sound a whole lot better. Not a skewed perspective there at all. Okay, next up, we've got Jackson with another SMG regular, and that's Mercurial. Once again, he's from the SMG Discord, just a brilliant player and wonderful compositionalist, that's for sure. Always love the stuff he throws at me, just absolutely brilliant stuff. Let's check this one out. Now, here's an interesting comment from Ron Heel 7991. B mixes, assuming A and B didn't switch throughout the vid, generally sounded more full, like they weren't as compressed, more real. The A mixes sounded more sterile to me, and I would assume that the console is mix B, which I preferred. But I've always preferred a more human sound. I've got to stress here, we're not getting night and day differences between Reaper and the console. Again, it's kind of a 5 to 10% thing. And for most guys, it's not going to be necessary. But then again, most of you guys are probably listening on earbuds or cell phones or something like that. If you aren't listening on actual studio monitors, I'd really recommend it for this video. And if you don't have monitors, make sure you go check out some Kali LP6s or LP8s. They're super awesome and they're super affordable. And no, Kali is not paying me to say that. I just think they're a wonderful entry-level monitor that really can step up your game. They're probably one of the most important investments you're going to make because everything you record is going to go through them. Don't cheap out there, guys. Okay, and last up, we've got, yet again from the SMG Discord, Mr. Average Imposter. He's doing some low-tuned stuff, and honestly, I love how this one turned out, especially the guitar sound, because this is where I had my big breakthrough using the Celestion T75s, a speaker that I've always struggled for years and years and years to get a good sound out of. Suddenly, I figured it out. Trick is 57, but make sure you use a 421 next to it. All of a sudden, that speaker sounds brilliant. Let me show you what I mean. I guess it's a point worth mentioning that the SMG Discord is available to everybody for free. I'll have a link down there in the description below. It's just an awesome pool of talent. So many great players hang out on there. So many great people hang out on there. And yeah, we do Counter-Strike nights on Friday. I'm trying to convince some of the guys to jump into a game of Battlefield 2042 with me. Hopefully that'll happen at some point. That'd be pretty cool. But if you want to come hang out, I drop in when I can. It's an awful lot of fun. And once again, it's absolutely free to join. Links in the description below, guys. Couple more comments here, and then we're going to take a look at some phase cancellation. This one's from Ronald Chain 1. Glenn, your mixes are definitely next level lately. Interesting people start saying that once I buy a Neve console. Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. I've only been working towards that for 2 decades. Ronald, you made my day. Really love that bass tone. Killer. Of course, all the mixes are using element bass. That's available right now over at spectredigital.com, and it's available as part of the SummerSlam Super Sale, which I already gave you guys massive details on, but that sale is only going to last till the end of the weekend. If you want to get it, get the bundle, get a whole bunch of plugins, and it's fucking awesome. All right, over to the actual mixes here for a second here, and I want to show you what's going on here. First and foremost, say this is really cool. I am working with the Lewitt Ray mic. Once again, this is not a sponsored video. This is really cool because it's got an automatic mute on it. So if I'm doing playback here, I can just lean back and it'll cut out. I mean, I could have used a mic like this 10 years ago when I started this channel. Lewitt's just absolutely crushing it as of late. The Ray is a must-have if you're a podcaster or you do any kind of explainer videos. Like, holy crap, this thing is just simply magnificent. I want to show what's going on here. A lot of people in the comments I know said, well, I can't tell a difference. I can't tell a difference. Again, if you're using, like, say, listening on a cell phone or something equally shitty for speakers, you might not be able to tell a difference. The easiest way to tell a difference is put both tracks up against each other and flip the phase on one. Whatever is left over, that is the difference. So we're looking at the Nails track here. That's Neve. And we've got a very different guitar sound, very different snare sound. Listen to what happens here when we put them up against each other and flip the phase. So that's with the phase flip. That tells me there's a big shift in guitar sound. There's a little bit of difference going on in the way of the vocals process because we can hear a little bit of top end there. Big differences on the attack of the kick and snare as well, which makes a lot of sense because I'm treating them very, very differently in the software as opposed to the hardware console. All right, so we've got Eric T. Once again, Neve mixes at the top here, and the software is at the bottom. We'll just do a real quick listen. Big difference in the bass tone, snare, and listen to that reverb on the snare too. Guitars are very, very close, maybe a slight difference in the mid-range a little bit, but just a gigantic difference in the snare sound. Like I said, the way how the Neve processes transients seems to be a lot different than the way how software does it. And I've got a couple of observations on that in just a sec. Again, taking a look at the Imposter 7-string mix. I love this track. Again, just so happy with how the guitars turned out on this, but take a listen. We're just going to go back and forth between Neve and the software. Neve is at the top, software is at the bottom here, and now, this one on the software has something I refer to as the brick snare sound. It's like you listen to the Neve part of the mix, it's like that snare's it's just kind of a thunk as opposed to a snap. And we phase cancel. There's a lot of snare left there. Interesting how the bass sits in there, the snares left over. And again, there just seems to be quite a big difference going on in the low mids in the guitars. Interesting stuff. And this is really something I've noticed here about mixing on the Neve. And this is what's kind of makes the guitar mixing so much easier, is that I find I don't have to reach for a C4 or some kind of multi-band compressor on the heavy guitars anymore. The Neve just kind of soaks up those low end chug transients. And that's something I noticed way back in the day. In the analog days in college, we could dial in the heaviest tones we'd want and we wouldn't have to treat them any differently. And when I went into digital, it's like, why is the bottom end of the guitar sound so fucking muddy? The problem with digital is it puts out exactly what you put into it. Whereas the analog board will tend to round things off a little bit, as it were. So the great thing is about mixing on this thing is I have never once had to reach for a C4 when it comes to guitars. All the transformers in this thing just kind of absorb that low end mud, and that's why we're getting a difference there in the low mids and the guitars. Interesting stuff, that's for sure. I love what this thing does for guitars, and when it's fully functioning, yes, I can definitely get results way faster. And we've also got this one, the Mercurial mix. Check this out. Again, a big shift here. This one, I love the bloom of the reverb on the snare, as opposed to the digital one where it's just kind of thud. And we phase cancel. Now, I did reamp those guitars in the Neve track for a different project. I just kind of threw this in here. So yeah, there's a huge amount of guitar sound left over. But there's so much going on in the top end on the drums that's left over. So that tells me just how much differently the Neve is processing things to Reaper. And like I said, I really do love the results of that. Like the one at the top here, this is probably one of my best mixes ever. It just... Now, if I was working my ass off and spending my hard-earned money on a CD or some product for a band, I'd probably want to go with the top mix, not the bottom mix. That's for sure. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong. But I made a few notes here about the whole process here. First and foremost, I got to say one more time, I'm really impressed with the way Neve stepped up here and the fact that they're going to get me a replacement computer. I'm going to do a video on how to pull the old one out and install the new one, and hopefully it all goes well. So you guys can expect a follow-up here. But this leads to some questions here, and that is, if this thing has a Windows PC, a Windows 10 PC in here, how long is it going to be supported for? Should I be buying a spare computer for it right now? Should I get several spare computers for it? Because I want to know if this thing's going to be working 30 years down the road. At Warren's place, he had that old SSL board from the early 80s, and its computer, it was Stone Age technology, but it worked. And it was rock solid. It was basically like 3 Commodore 64s strapped together. It used these giant floppy disks. It was really archaic, but it worked. And that's the most important thing. The computer has to work. So that's the big question I've got for Neve. Okay, guys, if I can hose this thing in under 6 months, what's the support going to be like 10 years down the road? Neve, you guys need to answer that question. Just back and forth and talking. The cause here, there's a very good chance it was me. They said it could be this whole thing could be caused by a bad shutdown. So I'm not going to rule that out, because I do recall shutting it down early one time. I had set the computer to shut down, and I think I hit the power button a little too early. But if I do that once, that can hose the whole system, hose the entire computer. If that's the case, that's an Achilles heel. There needs to be some kind of safety system put into place here to make sure that you can't shut the main power off until the computer's down. There needs to be some kind of fail-safe put into place for that, because I do have this thing behind a battery backup. So if one time shutting it down early or in the middle of the shutdown sequence screwed it, that needs to be fixed. There needs to be some steps put in place here to keep that from happening, because I guarantee I'm not going to be the only one who does something that dumb. But if it's my fault, it's my fault. I'm just glad it was under warranty and we found the issue now. Now, one big gripe I do have with this thing is, you hear how quiet this is? Yeah, I've spent years getting low noise computers into the studio and low noise lights so I could shoot in silence and not have to worry about fan noise getting picked up in all my microphones. The fan on this computer is a fucking atrocity. You turn on, it's like, woo! I'm like, what the fuck? My point being is this: low noise fans exist. Why didn't you put one in the board computer? I don't get that. You can, for the amount of money we're paying, we should be getting premium low noise fans. And that doesn't seem like too much to ask for. It doesn't seem like that'd be that big of a fix either. So that's my big question to Neve. Like, why the loud fans? And would you guys consider upgrading those? That, and would you guys consider changing the studio computers over to something more stable, like Mac operating system at some point? Seriously, if you guys ever offer that as an upgrade to put like an M1 Mac chip in the computer as opposed to Windows 10, sign me up. I'll be first in line for that. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. For everybody who was wondering about the results of the shootout, here you go. And I'm going to follow up in a couple of days when the computer arrives. Hopefully, I'll be back in action in a couple of days. Fingers crossed. I'm going to keep my eyes open. Anyway, thanks again to everybody for watching. And don't forget to check out the Spectre Digital SummerSlam Super Sale. It's only happening once a year, and it's got some absolutely unbeatable deals in there, including Element Bass, Extinction Level Event drums, and we've even got the Bogren amp knob in there, one of my absolute favorite amp sims, especially for the beginner, because you just turn it on and it sounds killer. Go check it out today. Links in the description below. Hope to see you on the Discord. All right, that's all I got for today. Now fuck off.